Hey guys, welcome back. So today we got a 2021 Gv80 3.5 liter. Customer complained coolant loss, and they see some coolant dripping underneath of the vehicle. So I inspected. Didn't see any obvious, especially on the radiator side, because that's very common on these models. I guess because of how the design is, the stone chip and everything, right? Anyway, so I inspected and I saw some coolant markings on the side here, right? And unfortunately that's our water pump area. So you can do this without removing the front end. I usually do that because it's easier for me, especially the design, right? I don't want to, especially this vehicle so it's big, so I don't want to go over it and then, you know, strain my back. Anyway, so pretty easy. You just remove the whole front end there, remove your refrigerant. Yeah, so nothing much what do you call that, interesting there. Just simple couple of bolts or whatever. Yeah, just to what do you call that, to be careful that this one is attached to the whole front end, right? So you have to remove that at least, so that when you remove the whole thing it's easier. So now as you can see, and it's good also for the video, you can see it clearly what we're doing. We're gonna remove our front intercooler here, the water-cooled intercooler. So as you can see there, if it was there's a bumper here or whatever, everything is tight here. So at least here it's free now, and you can clearly see it and work nicely, and we can sit down. So let's go ahead and remove our front water intercooler assembly, and we can see now our belt system and where our water pump is. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna remove the connectors, harness in here that's attached to our water intercooler. Oh my god, that's tight, man. You know what, we're just gonna remove this. Remove this because that one is attached to our electric water pump, which is it will come with the intercooler. But the bottom part, you have to remove that. Same thing in here. So whatever is attached to your intercooler, right? So it's also doable without removing the front end, as I said earlier. But I'm gonna strain my back doing bending over, and it's as you can see on my video, I think there was a Gv70 that was replacing the ITM unit. Like, it's too tight there, you know. But by doing this, at least it's easy, right? So now all the connectors are gone, remove. So now we're just gonna remove our piping at the bottom of the intercooler. So that's a spring type. You just have to spread that 2-piece wire. So I'm gonna show you that later. There we go. Okay. Now this one is going to our air pipe there, so remove that. What else? I think that's about it. So I'm just gonna remove the whole mounting for this intercooler. Question is, where is it? That's tight. So let me just grab my light. So now there's nothing at the back. There's only 2 at the bottom. Okay, so we're gonna remove 2 at the bottom. Can I access it? I should be able to access there. 2 14mm. There's 2 nuts there at the bottom. So that's out. The next one will be, we're gonna remove our piping that's going to the throttle body. So that one is, it's also like a spring type or locking type. I don't know what you call this, but you just have to spread that. And the question is, can it access at the back? There we go. So I just pry this guy. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay. Okay, so it's out. So this is what I'm talking about. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera. So that's what's holding in there. And then 2 nuts at the bottom. Alright, there's 1 nut there. So unlike the 2.5 that I did one also on a water pump, like the mounting of the water intercooler is 2 on the top and 2 at the bottom. So let's put this aside. And now we can clearly see our water pump here. So the next will be is to remove our belt. Remove this guy here, the hose. And this water pump is totally different than I've seen, right? It is my first time to do on a 3.5.
Boss, is it done? Or?
Yeah, I just removed the wheel lock for that.
Okay.
Just gonna remove this pipe, and as I said, this is my first time to do a 3.5 and first time to see a water pump. That's some coolant there. The water pump that's long. So basically the whole assembly is from here going here, right? So now we're gonna remove our belt. We got our tensioner here for our belt. And don't forget to make a drawing on how the belt is routed, right? Now that's 19. I'm just gonna remove the whole belt here. Put it aside. Now, for the shop manual, it's asking us to remove the ITM assembly. I don't know why, but let's remove our pulley first. Let's remove our pulley first. The question is why he's asking us to remove the ITM. Let me grab our new water pump. Here's our new water pump. So I don't think that we need to remove that. I guess he's asking us to remove it. The question is, where's this leak coming from? Did I call the right thing? Or is it leaking from the ITM? But I saw when I was doing was I pressure test it. I didn't see any drip, but I put a camera at the bottom and I saw water coming out. I think it's coming from here, this way. And I guess it's just pins of the coolant. Could be. And the thing is, there's some coolant there on top, right? I don't know if the coolant is just because the leak from here, and then it just spins with the pulley. But this is wet. I didn't spray anything here. So most likely it's leaking from here. But why is it? There's some, but this is just whole plastic here for ATM. That's whole assembly. I don't think there's a crack there. I don't see any drip there. But it's just wet on this. I don't know what they call that. A plug. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm confident that it's leaking from here, from this side. Because when I pressure tested, or no, not pressure tested, but I didn't see any leak. Didn't pressure test, but when it was running for 30 minutes, maybe with the impeller inside, it make something weird inside and starts to leak. So yeah, let's go ahead for the repair. I don't know why they and the shop manual asked to remove the item. Maybe because there's no space if you're doing it without removing the front end. As I can see here, this is just the whole assembly here. We just have to remove this guy here, and yeah, I think this is straightforward now. And let's go ahead, remove this, remove our sensor. I don't have e-power. Okay, so our new water pump comes with a new sensor there. And also just cover your piping here for intercooler. Just make sure there's no debris.
It's like, how long will it take?
What?
How long will this take?
No, I just finished removing the wheel lock. I don't know what other jobs needs to be done with that.
Oh, that's it? Wait,
Huh?
That's it? Wait.
Well, they just asked me to remove the wheel lock. That's it.
Oh, that's okay, perfect.
So I don't know what else needs to be done with that.
Cool.
So just recover it just in case of debris. I'm just removing this hose so that I can access to this guy nicely. Just be careful. You don't wanna damage. If it's tight, I guess we're just gonna leave it like that. Now let me try one more. It's moving now. That's it. So just let's move our bucket a little bit. Oops. Okay, now I can remove this guy. Same thing, let's just free this up. Sometimes it helps you spray a little bit of penetrating fluid or silicone while doing this so that it will free up the hose from the pipe. So that's good. Free. Now we have to just okay, so I think this is too tight here, right? I'll just leave it, at least that's loose. Now we're gonna start removing our water pump assembly. Let me remove first our connector for temperature sensor here. Then we can go ahead, remove our water pump assembly. So it's just a bunch of tanks. So let's see how it is, like that. So how many bolts we have. So there's 12 mm bolt there, also a 10 mm. So in your side here. Okay, so every bolt here is accessible. Okay, that's a long one. What you can do, okay, that's the same. What you can do is, to not confuse yourself where the bolt goes in, put in your new one, right? And then you can just transfer that bolt again to the old one once you install the new one. So it's the same size. So I'm just removing all the 10 mm bolt there. This one at the bottom here. Okay, and the remaining is the 12 mm. There's 4. Wow, that's tight. There's 4 12 mm. No battery. Okay, so we should be able to move now. For that, let's hold this. Something is still stuck. What is it? Maybe the dowel pin? All the bolts are... Yeah, all the bolts are on. Maybe it just needs a little bit of hammering. Okay, so water coolant comes out now. Okay, so here's a water pump, old one. And this is the part where it gets wet. Right? So what I did was I just put all the bolts there and then you can just transfer that to the old one, right? Okay, so here's our pulley. As you can see there, there's some coolant residue there inside of our pulley. So I think our leak is definitely in there, and the way as I mentioned earlier, was wet in there, and during running when I shut it off, it started to wet on this side flowing here, right? So I think all this stuff here, especially on the ITM, because ITM also there's coolant flow there, so I don't think it's leaking from there. And of course we're gonna clean all this debris, right, to make sure. And it has a metal gasket, so we're gonna replace this too. So I'm gonna go ahead clean all this dirt here, and then we'll come back and install our new water pump. Okay, so I did my best to clean all the coolant debris there. I had to remove the crankshaft pulley because there's a lot of debris around here, right? And also I remove there's our crankshaft pulley. So now we're gonna install our water pump. I'm just gonna install the pulley, and then let's go ahead and install our water pump assembly. Okay, so just make sure the surface here it's dry as much as possible. This coolant here, you can't really remove that unless you're gonna lift the engine a little bit so that it's gonna tilt it up. But as much as possible, just dry it out, right? Now we're gonna install our gasket. This is a metal gasket. So let's say there's a dowel pin there. We're gonna land it up there, and there should be another one at the bottom. Oh, it gets stuck on the old water pump, so there should be one here on my finger and one on this side. So let me see our new one. Okay, so this guy has no dowel pin, right? Okay, let me try removing the old dowel pin if I can punch it out. Okay, so I installed our dowel pin there. Just line it up. Okay, now let's grab our new one. Same thing. Oh, I think I need to put this camera down first. Okay, so earlier we had two. We remove the hose with the water pump. So let's install this first there, and then install our water pump. Just line up your dowel pin. Okay, there we go. Now let's install our bolts. Then we're gonna torque it to specification. The 12 mm, it's asking for a 15.6 foot-pound, and the 10 mm bolts is asking normally it's 8.7, right? So I guess that's why in the manual when I read it, they need to remove this ITM because there's no space, and that's why I went on this route, because the ITM is very tricky to remove because of the hoses that's in the tight position. So first let's tighten our 10 mm, so the same thing, we go from inside to outside. So if you're using an impact gun, just snug it. Just slowly. Oh, there's another one missing. Impact. just go back to the 10 mm one. By the way, this vehicle has more than 100,000 kilometers. Okay, now we're gonna torque them to specification. Okay, so I'm gonna torque the 10 mm. Same thing from inside to outside. The shop manual doesn't really say any pattern, but usually if it's like this, I always go from inside to outside and just crisscross, right? Okay, now we're gonna go do the 12 mm, which is 15.6. Okay. And just go over with them one more time. Now just double checking, right, that you didn't forget anything. And same thing with our 10 mm. Okay, so that's done. Our water pump is installed now, right? Don't forget your coolant temperature sensor connector there, because if you forget that, everything is so tight, right? Let's just continue with this one. Our hose here, clamp. Oops. As I said every time on all my videos, when I'm removing hose, just make sure that the clamp, the orientation of that before you put it in the same way, right? Especially the older hoses, older clamps, right? This one we're gonna do that. Make sure that it's in that same position. Oh no, well, not true. Don't install that yet. Because you're gonna install your drive belt. Imagine doing a preventative maintenance on this, removing the drive belt, right? Because I don't think the drive belt is lifetime, right?
I ordered the camera.
So as I said earlier, imagine doing a preventative maintenance, replacing a belt or removing the belt, or even doing compressor, alternator, because you can remove coolant because the belt is there, right? Unless you're just gonna loosen it, right? If you replace it, you have no choice. You're gonna remove the coolant, right? So that's a lot of labor already. So I hope this belt is gonna last long, right? This one is 100K, and so far our belt condition so far is good, so that's a good sign. Maybe at 200,000 needs to be replaced, or whatever fails in the component, right? So right now I'm just cleaning the pulley because there's some coolant residue there too. Okay, so let's put our pulley. Now we're just gonna tighten it and we'll torque it once we put our belt. So let's install our belt. Make sure all the pulleys has no any debris, right? So that's the one. Before I install the belt, I'm just gonna blow some air here. I hope you guys can see it. Install our belt. It's gonna go start from the water pump first. Let's go to our alternator, to the pulley, and then it's gonna go up to our tensioner, crankshaft, and then to the compressor and go up, right? So you can loosen your tensioner side first so that you can go there to the water pump. Now we can turn our tensioner now. Oh. Okay. Before you release, make sure everything is in the groove, and if you really wanna be sure about it, you can spin the whole crank and make sure that everything is turning and it's in the groove, right? Because you don't want that putting everything back together and it's out of alignment, it's gonna slip and you're gonna do the whole thing again. So let's install this hose first before we forget. Same thing, put it in the same orientation as much as possible, like that. And then we can torque our water pump pulley, 10-foot pound. Oh, 8.7 if you really want to be very exact, but you can always use 10 mm 10-foot pound.
Jay, can you go see Joel for the other tablet? It just shut down on Ryan again. Thank you. Okay, bye. Where are the cleaning wipes for the...
Okay, so there you go, guys. That's how you replace the water pump or a 3.5 engine on Genesis models, G80, Gv70, I think G90 also. So that's how work intensive it is. And if you like this setup on how I did it, I'm just removing front end and it's easy in and out instead of coming from the top, right? You get small space there, right? Because this side is all the cooling fans. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll just end this video here because I'm gonna put everything back together with the front end, coolant, and also the challenging part here is the bleeding the coolant, right? So yeah, just patient about bleeding the coolant because it's gonna take a while. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and thanks again for watching. See you next time.